Hello, it's me, Antronus Prime. I'm here doing a face-to-face camera rather than my hands just in some tent reviewing. But I thought it'd be nice to do a response video to Kalel Primes. It is a good time to be a Transformers fan or robot collector. Now, this video's been out a couple of weeks, as I'm aware, and I've been watching a lot of reviews. A lot of good points are coming up. So I just thought I'd give it a go and give my own opinions on. No, it's good to be a Transformer fan. It is. It has been sort of since my first time going to auto assembly last year. Sort of the collecting side for me has definitely stepped up a mark. To a point of ridiculous in some ways. But not only that, the fiction has been uh, also really good. It's been constant. We've been getting fed bits and bobs. But where do we want to start this before we go into a bit more detail? Let's start with the Bayformers thing. Let's get that out the way. Transformers 4, I'm not interested. I am not interested in anything that comes out with to do with the Bayformers. Now, yeah, they've I appreciate what Michael Bay's done for the franchise. He's basically give us the definitive reboot of the entire Transformers franchise, like what happened in 1984. He's done wondrous things for it. He's made them come into the spotlight, a lot more, if you will, scientific, research into robotics, I suppose, has upped its game in the past, 5, 6 years since its first release. But also, it's opened the floodgates to a heck of a lot more robots, giant robot sort of feature films come out, and you need to look at the upcoming Pacific Rim for that, which is sort of a reboot on Robo Jocks, you could say. Similar, very Gundam-y, humans controlling big mechs. So that's interesting. But you find this with sort of this kind of um, time loop. Everything shifts. Like in the time of the 1980s, we had everything robots. Everything was robots and big robots and cyborgs and stuff like that. And you can see that reoccurring again. And you know, Transformers has sort of been there on sort of the a plateau and balancing things out. It's always there, it never shifts into anything different. So, but Transformers 4, no, I'm not interested until Bayformers releases something, trailer, storyline. I am glad that Mark Whitberg sort of took the place of Shy because he's a bit annoying little shit. Apart from that, no, I'm not interested. Main news, let's say, Transformers Prime is sort of the prime thing to talk about at this point in time. I suppose we've seen the end of the second series. It's ended again with Prime being a big sacrifice things. No doubt he had used the fucking Matrix to reboot himself into the Prime that we see with the Beast Hunters toys and stuff like that. It's cliche. You always hear it, but at the same time, I've really adapted to Prime. I've really got to enjoy it. Rewatching some of the series, it's been a slow start for me, but I've really taken to it, and ever so more, so much even more on the toys. It's took me a year to even start collecting the toys. That happened sort of the latter half of last year, 2012, before I first really started getting collecting. Bit late, but they're still about and you can still pick them up. And all thanks to, who's it? Rumble. I believe he was Wave 5. Rumble, the piece of shit car that looks totally like a shelf warmer, but totally unique in when you transform, I found. Totally, completely. You could give that character any name and it would work. Really. It was a lovely piece of, just a nice little Tigibot, Minibot, and stood alone. And that really kickstarted me getting, the likes of the Voyager class ones, Tigertron, Tigertron? Oh, that Beast Wars, Thundertron and Magnus and stuff, and getting all the other little deluxe ones. So that's sort of been the main purchase. But without going sidetrack, Prime itself is coming up to the Beast Hunters season 3, the finale, a 12 episode season only. It's I don't know. I think it's good. It's got good potential. I hope they don't just screw it up though, and just end on something that could have been better, because we've seen that up and down in Transformers Prime. You have your okay episode and the other episode where it's like, why bother? And Prime hasn't been that big on story, like solid story. It's more been about the mythos, and I found that throughout series 1 and 2, that Prime is more focused on creating a backstory, and something that I totally dig, if you will, is the mythos into sort of the Transformers and Cybertron and stuff like that, and they've really elaborated sort of on the 13 and the Primes, and relics that have been coming to it. So that's been good, and I think that's why I've enjoyed Prime. I think because I'm a big fiction fanatic on the Transformers universe and all the multiplexes. I'm interested to see what's getting created, what's being invented, what's being reinvented, and how they're adding to sort of a continuous sort of continuum of mythos, rather than like huge multiplexes darting off here, there, and everywhere, because oh shit, they've stumped themselves in the foot there. Let's create something else to counteract that. It becomes nonsense and becomes sort of disillusioned sometimes. So that's been quite cool. Prime toy wise, like I said, the standard sort of ones you've seen in seasons 1 and 2. Yeah, great. The Beast Hunters line, I am not in no rush for. Really, it's they look okay, but there's something missing from them. They just don't look as if it's like Hasbro have took uh, the Fall of Cybertron appeal to them, where it's like, yeah, let's just shove them out at the end one, and quite disappointing. I mean, I until I get hold of them, I really can't comment any further. But there's a few which may look okay, but I'm not even into this Predator King. This Predator King looks the Dragon mode looks awful, Robot mode semi awful, a bit better than this Dragon mode. But Prime looks cool. I don't like the Ultra Magnus that they've done. We had this, a completely different body mold in the RID Voyages, completely different body mold, and yet now we're getting a blue version of Prime with an Ultra Magnus head on. What's that all about? It's cheap, cheap, cheap. So yeah, Prime enjoyed. Not really. Woo! All that. Check out the trailers below that I've launched on my channel. But as far as it goes, I'll wait until I may do a first episode response, mid season response, and end response, just to see how it goes and have my little kicks on it. What else? Let's get on to Fall of Cybertron. I haven't had, there's been many reviews out there. I haven't really said anything about it. I wasn't a big fan of it. Fall of Cybertron, to me, felt rushed. It felt crammed. It was they really did. When I mean cramped, they tried to dig too much into it. They really tried to explain a lot of stuff that's been going on since the 80s in it and compile it within sort of that 8 hours, 9 hours gameplay. Multiplayer was great, really fun to meet people online and stuff like that, and create your own bot. But as far as the story goes, too crammed, too sometimes over the top, and yeah, I'm saying that about Transformers. But the game itself, for me, War of Cybertron introduced us and gave us nice edible chunks. We were introduced to a new Prime data, but to me, that was so much enjoyable. Whether it was because the first game I don't know, but I still prefer War of Cybertron. But as far as the campaign goes for Fall of Cybertron, yeah, great to see Metroplex, but he didn't really do nothing. You know, what else? Yeah, it just really didn't sit well with me. I quickly got bored of it. Multiplayer, I paid more attention to. Good stuff. Let's see what else is going on at the moment. I've got it written down. Makes change. Let's see. Oh, 30th anniversary of the Transformers is next year, which is going to be good. I hope. Fingers crossed. I really hope so. We've had this sort of prime Fall Cybertron era genre coming out. We were disappointed. A lot of complaints about the quality of plastics. I totally agree. Uh, shabby throwaway just to cover the game. Fair dues. They got them. We got a shitty Brutus combined who looked more like he needed, and now a tree surgeon than anything. But it's look at the pictures that we've seen with these sort of triple changes, spring and Blitzwing. What is all that about? At last, Hasbro look like they're producing something. It's not only with a decent robot mode, decent three modes. You got your battle car mode with Springer, your helicopter. They look generally lovely designed. They're not just like, yeah, that's meant to be a helicopter. Okay, fair dues. Again, Orion packs. We're getting this Orion packs, and all of them Orion packs. Was it Bumblebee, Trail Cutter? Lovely to see finally a Trail Cutter that acknowledging some characters from the past. Even though I consider Trail Cutter, evolution of Trailbreaker because he's been off the scene a while. Megatron and all these inspired by the IDW universe, and this is something else that's really great. Again, like I said, the fiction is really something I'm holding on to. Toy Fair, there's a lot of exciting stuff going to happen over this next, the due to release this August. Hopefully, we'll see some of them possibly making emergence into auto assembly if we can. That would be so awesome. But they are going to be like fucking hotcakes. The minute that them stores open, that's it, wiped out. Comic books going with the toys. This is something that for collectors is going to be sought after. It's going to get kids to reading the comics as well. It's going to get them introduced to this universe. And again, not all the Kalel Prime mentioned, not all the ideal DW universe is for younglings. There's a lot of philosophical text in there. There's a lot of big words, and he's right. You have to pull out the thesaurus. But no, this is a great way, I think, with companies merging. The toy companies acknowledging the comic book companies working together. I think this could be, in some ways a winning team, but it could fall flat on its face. But definitely, if you're a mint and box, that you got the comic and the toy, that's going to be something that's going to look really good in the next couple of, like, you keep it a good 10 years. That's going to mint and box. Beautiful. I will be definitely after that. If they're limited edition, I don't know. Or they're only allocating a couple of thousand. They're going to be shit hot. Let's see. Toy Fair, Metroplex. Everyone's on about Metroplex, and to be honest with you, I can't. No one can comment until we've got our hands on it. Yeah, he looks cool, but I just hope he's not a tall piece of redundant plastic, something that doesn't really do nothing. But okay, might look good in your collection. I'm game with that. I'll give that a go. And price wise, dollar wise, they're saying it's going for $120, $130. So what's that work out in pounds? I don't know, about 90 quid, 100 quid. Titan class. Yeah, I'll give that a whirl. Mind, mint and box maybe, but it's a Metroplex. Yeah, I'll take it or leave it. Let's watch a few reviews when it comes out. But triple changes, yes. That Springer looks gorgeous. And, it's interesting to see whether they're going to release other triple changes now, because it would be a shame that they released Blitzwing to not release the likes of maybe an Astro Train again, or Octane, along with, Sam Storm was featured on the Metroplex box. So, is this going to be a new line? Is Hasbro going to go, okay, we're acknowledging the fans, and it's, if enough fans gather together and do this, why not? We've seen it with gaming. If we're not happy, we want, what can we make a difference? Let's, that's what all these are about. The numbers you get up, it's like, listen, stop buying the products and stuff. So, Toy Fair, wow, yeah, looking forward. 30th. This new cartoon, apparently it's going to happen end of year. It's unsure. Where's that going to go as well? Is that going to complement the 30 years? Are we going to see a G1 inspired again, or who knows? We don't know. What else? What else? Let's see. Let's go to my little box of tricks. Yes, yeah, and like I say, if we don't hear any in that BotCon, then that's going to be possibly a forever, a long time coming for that. So that's going to be possibly good. Like I was mentioning before, fiction. It is definitely a really good time to immerse yourself in Transformers, whatever fiction you want to choose. Now, IDW is a particularly good thing. I find with IDW that they're really planning this out. They're not trying not to leave too many gaps where it's down to the fan to sort of, they're letting the fan think, okay, well, how did that happen? What happens with Bumblebee and this and that? And if you've read the Spotlights, they sort of fill in the bridges, the gaps between sort of like international incidents and chaos theory, and they're going back and filling in gaps, which I really appreciate with IDW, that they're taking the time to sort of not stump themselves, not keep stump themselves in the foot like a lot of continuities have done in the past. We started in the 80s where you have two different multiverses going on at the same time, thinking, why is that? Why is this? Why is that? You tend to get a plinth straight through with IDW, and it's more or less straightforward. You can acknowledge characters, humanize characters, and it's a lovely universe that's created. Some of it gets downright boring. It's like, come on, but I really enjoy it, and for someone who I take pride in the fiction of Transformers, particularly of melding continuities together and finding sort of not the multi-universe that do exist, but trying to find again this solid plinth from cross multiplexes. So that's sort of what keeps me entertained, Transformers. But IDW are doing a fantastic job, I think, at the moment. I'm really enjoying even catching up on the likes of All Hail Megatron that I've read bits and bobs of, and really, if you read like the likes of All Mankind and from so on, you can really make the distinctions between what's happened in All Hail Megatron. So, I'm going back, Jesus Christ, I am behind in some ways, but fiction on everything, on every multiplex. That's what I like. And next, third party again. Let's go with stay on the toy line. Third party have been huge this past year. They've really come out. You've got your fans project, your iGears, your TFC with the Uranus, and your Hercules. Just so many, have come out. But this is an interesting point that have been made by a few responses. They are getting they are ridiculously expensive, and this is becomes either inaccessible to the children, the kids side, or you've got all this dropping wages and recessions and shit going on, and they're not easy to come by sometimes. You've got to import a lot of them because UK does not get fuck all until months and months after they've been, well and truly shipped out to every other part of the globe. The third party companies are doing so well. There's so many great looking toys out there now, great looking combiners, and even the little things. Let's see the recent one I picked up, Met Deal, Apex and Gemnus. They are, out of all in the past year, the company, it's its first product, I believe, are two little bots, deluxe size, and they are quality. They have hit everything on the head, and the price wise is any the same price you pay for a deluxe. You're talking about. I think I paid 45, no 50, $55, which that's including the shipping from a TF source for them, and they are absolutely a treat. They are absolutely brilliant. Quality plastic. Hollowness has been panelled up, so that's a hollow foot, so they've panelled the back and it looks like a full figure. So that is a lovely little touch. But third party just basically dominating. I feel at this point in time, and just the sheer amount of stuff to come out with that I think fans want, but they've got them at it on they've got them on a lynch because it's the price absolutely ridiculous. Masterpieces again. We've got this fantastic looking Soundwave masterpiece. I'll love to grab that in the near future. Haven't really collected the masterpieces since MPO1, and he's sitting over there. But to really be honest with you, I'm not really interested in the masterpieces. If they come along, they come along. But hey, Prowl. Oh my god, yes, finally. a proud masterpiece. I will say I will indulge myself in that. Yes, no, yes, finally. But enough with all the Autobots. Let's see some cons. Okay, we've got the Jets, we've got the Seekers. Let's see some cons. Let's see a bit more variety in the Decepticon side of things. So that's a great sort of leap. We're getting all these lovely engineered quality now within the third party, especially. They're really taking, I feel, the fans' opinions, and they're just sitting down and they're going from scratch rather than just lobbing some repaint out, which is always good to see. Let's see what else. Toy Fair, we've done that. Yeah. As far as, let's say, community wise, I still yet to, I feel, indulge myself in the community. I know I'm not getting along, or I'm not I'm still doing reviews and stuff like that, but it's getting there. I'm hoping it's going to get better as I approach my second auto assembly. So that's that's a really good thing to look out at. Bot shots. I've been indulging myself in the bot shots because I reckon they're just so cute. And again, accessible, playful, and anywhere. I think they're nice little shelf edge decoration. So they're quite cool. Upgrades, I'll be honest with you, I've really been in more sort of like the last year, repo labeling all my sort of generations, finding upgrade kits like alternate heads and armor and such and such. You'll probably know that from the if you've watched any reviews on my channel. Um, but yeah, it is a really good time, I think, to be part of sort of the Transformers franchise. Young and continuing old fans, and there was an interesting one. I can't remember who. It does open the doors to saying, well, how far will Transformers go? Will it be around in another 40 years, 50 years? We don't know. But in all, it could look promising. But again, it could disappear again, like in uh, late 90s, and then come back again, disappear for a good decade possibly, and come back. So it's within the eyes of the creators or the people with that, isn't it? So yeah, let's see, anything else I missed? No, but roll on Auto Assembly 2013. So I hope you've enjoyed this little brief um, response. So any comments, please don't hesitate to comment below, subscribe, check out my channel even. And thank you for watching. I'm Antronus Prime. Toodles.